How's it going out there, YouTube land and also social media lands? Welcome to an all new video. In this video, we're going to be doing a end of the year video for the worst films of 2024. So we're going to get right into that and talk about what those worst films were for me. So let's get right into that. But before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss this video and the other videos I put up. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, definitely check out my other social media platforms such as X, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Patreon. Pretty much post on those regularly, so definitely check them out. As always, people, let's get right into this. So welcome one and all to an all new video. So like I was saying before, we're going to be doing the worst films of 2024 in this video. And basically these are the few films I felt that I thought were the worst of 2024. And, you know, this year, actually, surprisingly, there was a lot of great films. I know a lot of people are going to think, no, I don't completely agree with that. But, you know, this is, once again, you know, it's my opinion, what I think was the worst of 2024. And I just think that there was it was a great year for films. Lots of good stuff. I really had no qualms with many of the films that came out last year. And I just thought that there was a lot of great, enjoyable films last year. But these particular ones, I just remember watching them going, what the hell did I just watch? And there was just so many things about it that just was not entertaining. And there was just way too many agendas, I felt, in these films that just made them not fun. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, we're at a cuspis, you know, in the film industry where there's a lot of transitioning in films, as you can see over the last, you know, 5 years. And so I think that, you know, last year was a really good sign of what direction we're going back into, giving us some really fun films that I think, even though some of them were in development hell, they still got, we got quite a few good ones. But the worst of, you know, 2024, these films basically, or like I said, ones that I just did not think were great. So basically, if you're familiar with any of the films over the years, a lot of times, for instance, myself, I usually dislike everything people love. And I usually love everything that people hate. And when we get into my best of, you'll see what I'm talking about there. But in this worst off video, the few that I'm going to be talking about, I feel a lot of people are like, oh my god, that was so good, and this and that, and so like that, and I'm just like, huh? Like, nah, I just don't agree. I don't think these were good at all. I think they were really bad, and just didn't do anything entertainment value for me. So to start us off at the 5th spot on my top 5 worst of 2024 is a film that, you know, I just think, you know, it had a lot of great potential. It could have been good, but it just did not give me the entertainment value I was looking for. And that happens to be the film called A Quiet Place Day One. Yeah. A Quiet Place Day One, yeah. So I was going into this film thinking it was going to be so much better, so much awesomer, and I was really expecting it to be a, you know, really great addition to the first 2 films. And unfortunately, the film just ended up becoming a giant film about this one character dying of cancer, trying to get to a spot that she loved with her father, and there happened to be alien activity that happened behind her. And that, to me, just doesn't seem like a Quiet Place type of film. You know, unlike the other 2 films where, you know, the main, you know, story was, you know, of Krasinski's family and kind of the other people around them and kind of their dealings with this alien invasion. This film just did not feel like it included the alien invasion very much in the film. It's like it was a forethought that ended up happening while, you know, this woman is dying of cancer. So I just didn't find that a very great plot or a very good story, and it just really sucked. I was really sad because they made Joseph Quinn such a whiner in this film, and, you know, I love, you know, Lupita Nyong'o. I think she's a fantastic actress. I think she does a great job. And I just feel like even her performance wasn't up to par of what she's brought in other films. And I just was really saddened by the fact that they took such a great storyline of showing us the first day these alien invasions come down, and they're focusing on a completely different subject versus what they should be talking about is the alien invasion. So I went into this film, unfortunately, it just was, it's not what I expected, and I just feel that it was not a great film, unfortunately, and I just think that they really did not do justice for the rest of the franchise. Highly don't recommend A Quiet Place Day 1, but like I said, always check it out for yourself, see what you think, but I definitely feel this is one of the worst of 2024. So the next film on my worst of 2024 films is a film that was really hyped up and just I felt was very overrated. Had a lot of great potential, was made by a really great director, written by a really great director, and had a great cast, and just unfortunately this film just felt way overplayed and way too, over exemplified for it being such a great film. And so I had to put this on my worst of 2024, so the fact that it just was not what I feel was a really fantastic film, that it really let me down in the entertainment department. And that's like what I always say, is these films, when you're going to see a film, you're trying to get out of reality, and that's what it's supposed to do: entertain you, entice you, want you to love it and want it. And I know a lot of people will go into saying, oh, but there's art behind it and this and that and stuff. Like, that's great and all, and I get that with very artistic type of films, but in general most movies are made to entertain. And unfortunately, this is one of those films that just did not do that for me. And that happens to be a film called Longlegs. Yeah! Longlegs, yeah! Even though Nicolas Cage's performance was freaking fantastic, and Maika Monroe was decent too as well, and everyone else in it was decent, it just really was, I felt, overrated. And unfortunately, I just don't feel it got across the greatness it could have been. And so I have to put this on my worst list just for the fact it just was really a disappointment. And I didn't want to be disappointed. I didn't want it to be lackluster. And, when I saw all the trailers and all this stuff, I thought it looked so good. And then going to see it in theaters, I was just like, what is this? What the hell happened? I'm like, this had so much great potential, and with Nicolas Cage's character, showed him very briefly throughout the film, was a great idea, but the whole plot premise and everything like that, it just was a little too wonky. And at the same time, the whole premise of not really explaining certain things, like how he had these abilities and all this kind of stuff, just did not make the film very entertaining. Well, because this whole time you're guessing what the hell is actually going on. And I know sometimes films, they want to give a little mystery of what's going on and all this kind of stuff, but at the same time, it's like, give me a little bit to, connect the dots, and I just feel it didn't do that. And, I think that, to me, is what makes it not entertaining, when you can't really connect with the film very well to an extent, and that's what I felt Longlegs did. So hence why Longlegs is on, unfortunately, my worst of 2024. But like I always say, don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself. See what you think. See if you understand or enjoy it. Because, everyone has an opinion, and everyone has the right to their opinion. And, you can enjoy it. You can hate it. And it's all, in the hands of the viewer. So, but this one is on my worst of 2024 list. So next on my top 5 worst films of 2024, it coming in at the 3rd spot of 2024, is a film that is directed by not only Robert Zemeckis, but has a stellar cast that made Forrest Gump amazing. And that, of course, is a film called Here. Yeah. Here. Yeah. So this one ended up on my worst of 2024, simply the fact that all of its CGI-ness and its storyline going back and forth between years just made the film unentertaining. And I just feel there was, once again, a lot of potential for the film that made it seem really cool. And the whole camera process of it being all shot in one shot was really cool. I like that. I thought that was cool. I thought that was a great idea. Another part about here why I think it's the worst of 2024 is the fact that they, de-aged a lot of the characters and stuff like that. And I really feel they really didn't need to, because I feel most of them could have looked, with just a little bit of makeup to look more like that. And I feel that the CGI in this film just was so horribly done. I've seen so much better CGI in films over 5 years ago, 10 years ago even, and just I felt like it just was way too CGI and not given the proper CGI it should have. And I understand that this type of film is one of those types of films that really needed CGI to get the whole story across, especially based off of the book it's based off of. But at the same time, I just think that it was overused and did not work to its advantage in this film. And it's too bad, because this film, like I said, had a lot of great potential. I liked the concept and idea that it showed in the trailers and so forth. And I just wish they had gone in a different route or gave us a little something different. And it just was really too sad of a film. Like, I understand it's supposed to show the life of this house and, the ups and downs of that. But they really, I felt, hearkened way too much on a lot of the sad parts versus some of the happier moments they could have gone on. And then having, the two main characters, kind of, Tom Hanks and, Robin Wright, kind of having that bickering majority of the time through the whole entire film is just so unnecessary, about them having these feuds and stuff like that over, things and stuff like that. I just think that was so unnecessary, because that is just reality, and why the hell would you want to go to a movie to see reality unless you're watching a documentary or something about a true case? When you're going for entertainment, you want it to be happy, you want it to be fun. And I know a lot of people are like, I like when the good bad guy wins, I like sadness, I like this and that, and that's all fine. But when it comes to, for me, I enjoy fun, happy endings. And that's why, this is on my worst of 2024. Other than that, it's still a very interesting film. So, highly recommend still check it out, see for yourself if you enjoy it or not. And overall, I think that, it could have been so good, but because of the lacking of entertainment for me and some of the flaws I felt were in the film, it's why it's on my 2024 worst list. Like I said, don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself. So coming in next on my worst of 2024 list, coming in at the second spot of 2024, is a film that is based off of a stage play that I thought had so much potential. It had such a great cast, great songs, all this kind of good stuff that I thought would have been super cool, and yet they just took a giant DEI crap on this film. And that, of course, is the film called Wicked. Yeah. Wicked. Yeah. Wicked. Yeah, I unfortunately felt that this was just a giant DEI mess. It had way too big of an agenda of all these stupid things, and it was just really too bad, because I feel that the original play, the original book, everything about it was not about that thing. It was trying to show a different aspect of who the Wicked Witch was. And I like that concept. I thought that was a really great concept of bringing in the side of the Wicked Witch, where she was coming from, what led her to becoming the Wicked Witch, and so that. And that is fantastic idea. And unfortunately, the film just did not, I feel, portray that. I felt it made it seem like the Wicked Witch was a victim, and because she was green, the whole green thing, that was the stupidest stinking thing ever. And, it totally makes me think of that, once again, somebody's being chosen, or being, pointed out because they're of a different color type of thing, like if you were either, black, or if you were Asian, or if you were Latino, or whatever. And it's just, I felt that was such a stupid concept for the film, And, overall, I think that changing out some of the characters from the original thought process, I don't think it made it to its advantage. Unfortunately, the majority of the songs in the film are okay, but I felt that majority of the songs that Ariana Grande, sang just purely sucked. I was like, what happened to the singer I remember singing from other things? I just didn't feel like it was her best performance. And I definitely think that, Ario Debrio did a decent job singing. I enjoyed her performances. But majority of the songs I felt just did not feel the strong connection I felt from how the play was, or from other musical type of films, classics like Sing in the Rain, Sound of Music, American in Paris, and stuff like that. I feel that there was so much lacking from those songs that just didn't feel like it got across what the original songs were. I've seen, images, and I've seen video of Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth singing those songs and stuff like that. And they were absolutely fantastic. And I was really let down by how the versions of the film played it out. Now, John M. Chu is a great director. I think he does really great films, but this just is not, I feel, his greatest film I've seen him do. And another thing is, I love that, they had the cameos by Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel in the film, and I wish it had been bigger. It would have been fun to see them play more characterizations of that characters that they played and stuff like that. And I just didn't find the film entertaining at all. It just was a big letdown that it had so much musical potential that could have been so fun. And it's too bad because I think it had, a lot of great talent behind it that just did not get the entertaining value across. And so unfortunately, that's the reason why I put this on my worst of 2024. Just way too much own agenda for this film, unfortunately. But like I said, don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself. See what you think. Did you enjoy it? Do you find Wicked good? So that brings me to the final film of my worst of 2024 in the number one spot. That's right, number one spot in 2024. And that is a film that just really took it to the extreme and just did not make it entertaining at all. And that was a film called The Front Room. Yeah, The Front Room. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh God. Oh. What the hell were the Egger brothers thinking when they made this film? Now, the Egger brothers are related to Robert Eggers, who just directed the great Nosferatu remake, did The Witch, The Lighthouse, many other great films. And I don't know what the hell they were thinking when they decided to direct this garbage of a film, but this film gets the number one cake. Simply the fact that how much poop do you need in a film to get across, yes, poop is gross. There's plenty of movies that have, poop humor and, all that kind of good stuff and that, potty humor and stuff like that. That's absolutely hilarious. But literally to show poop several different times throughout the film, I just don't get it. The performances by everyone in the film were absolutely horrendous, except for the gal that's playing the, stepmother of the husband's deceased father. That she did a pretty decent job. But overall, this movie was just so damn horrible. The execution of everything, the sets, the look, the storyline, it just all was so freaking stupid. And then really kind of race baiting it, I felt. Bringing in this whole, this main character is a, huge racist. And then we have Brandy as the main character who, I'm sorry, Brandy's never been a great actress. She's definitely a better singer. But her performance in the film was just so hilariously bad that I was like, what the hell am I watching, Brandy? You were better in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. That's saying a lot because even her performance in that was mediocre to be nice. And I just was really disappointed in this film. I was expecting so much better out of it. The trailers made it look so good, and I was just all this freaking pee and urine throughout this film that they actually show. I'm like, what was the point of that? I mean, I guess to gross you out, I guess. That's what I'm assuming that they were trying to go for, but you could have done that with only 1 or 2 shots. Why did you do it like 10 times throughout the whole film? That's like an hour and a half long. And at the same time, it's like getting the point across of like there's a supernatural element and this kind of stuff that did not make no cohesive sense. Like it was like boom, back, bad, done. It just did not flow well. It didn't act it out well. Everything about this film was just the most hugest garbage pile of poo I've ever seen. And I was so disappointed and let down by this film. I was expecting so much more out of it. And it just seemed like an interesting concept. And at the same time, it's like the supernatural element was like so vague and so little. You're like, I thought this was supposed to be like a horror, psychological, supernatural film. Like it really wasn't even that. It was more of bad person, you white person that hates black people. It's kind of how I felt about the film. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, that has nothing to... I'm like, how is that a horror film? I'm just like, wow. I'm like, this film just, like, totally, like, was just a giant steaming pile of poo. I can't say that. I can't say enough poo enough for this film because they just used so much fake poo for this film. But overall, I just thought it was such a crappy film. On Letterboxd, I gave it half a star because like I said, I thought the old lady was pretty funny and she had some great moments in the film. Other than that, it was just giant garbage. Don't take my word for it, like I always say. Check it out for yourself, see what you think. I think it was absolutely crap, and hence why it gets my #1 spot on worst films of 2024. Could have been so much better, could have been a lot more great. It's too bad it sucked. So that's it for this worst of video of 2024. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you so much to my subscribers and followers. You guys are rocking it. As always, people, if this is your first time here or you have been before, don't forget to check out any older or new videos I haven't seen mine yet. As always, people, if you want to show support for the channel, please check out my Patreon page. We get all kinds of extra accoutrement you don't get here on my YouTube channel. So definitely check that out. As always, people, catch you next one.